to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember, when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show!
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline.
Woo!
Sponsored by Bigger Pockets. No, but at least by one of their books here. It's coming out, Jamil.
I know,
it's
dude.
Coming out. When does this get released?
It's released.
The greatest wholesale real estate book of all time. Where do people get this?
You can get that at biggerpockets.com/wholesale book.
Boom.
That's it. That's
it?
The only
Can't get it on Amazon?
No, not at the moment. It will be available on Amazon in a month. It'll be at Barnes & Noble in a month. But right now, the only place you can get it is biggerpockets.com/wholesale book. And it'll be the only wholesale book ever released by Bigger Pockets.
Well, I'll tell you what. It is a huge testament to your impact on this industry and this community that Bigger Pockets has published a wholesaling book.
Pretty crazy, right?
Really crazy.
Considering the fact
that this is a 180.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, every time somebody on the Bigger Pockets platform said the word wholesale, they would throw up in their mouth.
Yeah.
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 So it's a big change.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat.
Was it tough writing a book?
My God,
Be honest.
It was hell.
Yeah.
Because here's for people that don't know, right? How do books get written? I want to share with you how they get written. Not by the people you think that write them. That's the truth. Okay, most people who release a book, they get a ghostwriter to write it. So a ghostwriter watches all your stuff, listens to everything you've said, takes your words, the things that you've published, and then they try to recreate what you've said in a book.
Yep.
Do I have anything against that? No. I think that makes sense especially for busy people. So, so we had somebody take a look and try.
Yeah.
It was absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I read what they had written was embarrassingly bad. It was like they had no idea what they were talking about. And then I was like, wow, if other people who use ghostwriters ever released a book like that, I'd say no wonder so many books suck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I threw everything away. I hit delete and I'm like, no, I'm just going to do this myself. So I did.
Yeah.
I had I hired a couple helpers to type while I spoke. So I dictated and people typed, and over months, it took me months. I think I took about 4 months off, and I wrote every day from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. until this thing was done. It was insane, dude.
What can people expect out of it?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, look, the fact is that I didn't want this book is not meant to be a funnel.
Right.
This book is not meant for you to buy the book and then buy something and then buy something and then buy. No, this book is what you need, right? This book is what you need. Now, this book is not a community. This book isn't going to help you squat up with people. It's none of that.
Right.
But if you want all the information you need to wholesale ethically without spending any money, to learn how to do it from the way that I did it, then this book will serve you well.
Awesome.
Biggerpockets.com/wholesale book. It would mean the world to me if you got a copy of it and put it in your bathroom.
Welcome. Wholesale Hotline number 176. We're coming out hot. Make sure that you check out. You have to. This is not a request. This is a prescription. You have to go get this book right now, pre-register it, and it'll be in their hot little hands by when? Do they have to print them still?
No, they're printed.
ready to
yeah,
go.
they're at their warehouse. They'll be, if you order it, you probably have it within a week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Does it show you how to get deals?
Yes.
So it's an instruction manual.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How to get deals, how to find buyers, all of it. It's comprehensive, man. Like I didn't it. I also detest when I buy a book and they say things like this. So if you really want to understand how to do my business, I have this incredible thing that you can buy. And I'm like, well, I bought your book. I bought your book. Now I have to buy another book. I have to buy more stuff. Again, I wanted none of that.
Right. Well, remember, anytime that you're reading a book, anytime you're watching YouTube or listening to podcasts or whatever else, you have to put it through one of three filters, right? Is this entertainment? Is this education? Or is this instruction? Right. And you'll find that the people that can find the instruction, use that filter the most, are the fastest at acting. And the people that go out there and take the most action, obviously, get the most results. We all know that, but get it faster. I think that that's the most, a lot of times we stay in education loop because we want to feel competent knowing that we're going out there and doing things right. But in our business, it really comes down to your ability to effectively communicate and with property owners, the people that represent property owners. And that comes with practice. I mean, you got to be able to get in the reps and have those conversations and not just stay in theory mode, not just stay in what is wholesaling,
right,
and what are the laws of wholesaling, what is the paperwork of wholesaling, all these other things. You can have a conversation with somebody that's already doing it, and you can bring them an opportunity, and then all of a sudden you're getting into the nitty gritty and getting these deals closed.
Correct.
And that's really the education.
It is. And guys, just so you know, if you do order this before June 29th, so that's a couple of days away. If you order it before June 29th, you get entered into an opportunity to get I'm raffling off a 3-hour comping session private with me, where I will basically just work with you until you understand how to comp the way I comp. I think truly, that's, I don't want to tell people what my hourly rate is.
Yeah.
It's $2,500 an hour. So that's $7,500 worth of value. Okay. Secondly, I'm giving away an Astro Flipping mentorship package.
Yeah.
That includes the Astro Blaster AI.
Awesome.
So another $12,000 value there. So, I mean, somebody could literally come into this, buy this book for $24 and get entered to win around $20,000 worth of free.
Awesome.
Jingle jangles.
Are you entered to win when you check out? Is that the type of thing?
Yeah.
Or do you have to go somewhere else to do it?
No.
I just want to get that out of the way.
Your name is
automatic.
Your name is automatically entered.
Awesome.
Yeah. So anybody who purchases before the 29th of June, up to the 29th of June, your name is automatically entered. And you'll be randomly selected. Hey, there's a lot of people who have been messaging me saying, hey man, I really want to win. Wink, wink. I have nothing to do with it. I can't help you. Bigger Pockets is going to be making the selection.
Awesome.
They'll put the names in a randomizer and then somebody will win. That's how it'll work.
Awesome.
Yep.
What was the first deal that you did here in Phoenix? Do you remember?
My first ever deal in Phoenix?
In Phoenix.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a deal that I did in Glendale.
Let's go down memory lane to that guy versus this guy.
Incredible. So I'm living in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Okay. I had been trying to buy some short sales for our personal portfolio. My sister and I were buying like condominiums for like $25,000. And, it was
what year was this?
This is 2010.
Oh, prime time.
And, back in the day of short sales, what you would do is you would write like 100 offers because banks would reject 90% of the offers that they were receiving. Right. So they would see an offer. They'd be like, no. Okay. Yes to this one. And so you would just write a bunch of offers. You had to. That was the way that you would actually get something to stick.
Yeah.
So what I had done is I had written a whole bunch of offers and we ended up purchasing what we could purchase. And then 2 properties in Glendale, Arizona, 2 houses in Glendale got approved. And I was like, oh, shoot. I mean, we were out of money. There was nothing that I could do. Mm-hmm. I couldn't close on these myself at that time, right? So I was like, geez. So I asked the title company to send me the short sale addendum. And the reason I wanted to know the short sale addendum, I needed to see, was there going to be any deed restrictions on the property? Was that a deed restriction would restrict me from reselling the property for a certain amount of time? No deed restriction. There was also no verbiage in there that stated
It was early. 2010 was early.
It was early. There was no verbiage in there that stated I couldn't resell it prior to closing. So I was in business. I could wholesale this short sale. And that's what I did. So I go onto Craigslist and I write an ad and I'm like, hey, I have a house in Glendale, Arizona. It's an approved short sale. The approved price is $59,000. I have 2 of them approved at $59,000. I'm selling them for $69,000 each, so I'm adding $10,000 on each. I was very transparent, told what my cost was, what I'm selling for. I had mentioned that I'm going to be I at the word didn't even know what the word wholesale was. I was just selling my contract, right? Because wholesale didn't get introduced to me yet.
Yeah.
And 15 minutes after writing the ad, my phone rings.
Yeah.
And you know who called me? A guy named Tim Wynn. You know Tim?
Of course.
Tim calls me and he says, I looked at your ad to give me the addresses. He takes a drive. A few minutes later, calls me back and says, I'll take them both, but will you give me $1,000 off each? If I buy them both, can we do it for an $18,000 fee to you? I mean, listen, bro, I'm living in LA. I'm a comedian, which means I'm basically unemployed, right? And I just made $18,000 in 15 minutes, right? So I'm like, of course. He sends me a document. I'm like, ooh, what's an assignment? Because everything was different for me back in the day, right?
Yeah.
But I learned really quickly. I'm like, oh, this is how he's doing it. Okay, so I'm just going to assign this to him. Now he's going to be the contract holder. I got it. Called the title company. I'm like, hey, is this how it works? Do I need to know anything? Do I need any money? Is there anything I need to bring to the table? She's like, no, just the day this closes, you'll get money.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was like a reintroduction to the business model. And, lo and behold, I do those 2 deals and I make a decision then that I should probably look further into this wholesaling thing.
Yeah.
And see if I can reinvigorate my life and my finances. And, lo and behold, here we are today.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I talked to Evo. And Evo owns batch services, right? Batch skip tracing, batch leads, all that.
Yep.
And they had spent a good amount on on some sort of company that finds out how many wholesalers they think are in the country. Did I tell you about this?
No.
Yeah. So they came back with a number anywhere from 70,000 to 100,000 total, right? And I was thinking about that, and I was like, it seems like there's a lot more than that. But then I was thinking, I bet in 2010 there was 100.
Yeah.
Like not 100,000.
No. There was
100.
Very few.
It just wasn't. It was called bird dogging.
Yeah.
Is what it was called.
Yep.
And people would get paid $200 to find investors deals that they made like $78,000 on or something.
And I like bird dog. When I heard that word bird, I always thought bird dogging is when you had to take a poo, but you don't, and you're kind of like in between.
Is that a Canadian thing?
No,
That's gotta be a Canadian thing.
No, that's prairie dogging.
I think turtling. I've heard turtling. I've heard turtling, but not bird dogging. That's I don't know that graphic. But that's how it starts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it starts. I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't have, you just were taking the paperwork and walking it through with the title companies and just trusting that these people were going to close.
And really, this is how this whole concept of agent outreach for me started, because at the time, short sales were controlled by real estate agents.
Right.
REOs were controlled by real estate agents.
Yeah.
And it made sense to me.
Yeah.
If I wanted to put more short sales under contract, I had to connect with more agents. And so that's what led me. It wasn't like I had this, epiphany like, ooh, wait, this makes more sense. No, I didn't even know what direct to seller was at the time.
Yeah.
So I just went right to the real estate agents because they controlled everything. And then after that, I come to Phoenix and I'm like, I see all these bandit signs and all these people sending mail. And I'm like, wow, that's like brain damage. Like I just got all these agents just sending me stuff for free. I don't got to do any of this. And, you saw what ended up happening from that. So, and I think it was a serendipitous introduction for me.
Yeah.
And it's been incredible. The ride's been amazing. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the community for embracing me, embracing Keegley and the model. You know, I have Slater over here, who was the medic on our television show Triple Digit Flip.
Yeah.
I also have our executive producer in house right now from Triple Digit Flip. Oddly enough, he used to be both our boss. And you know what happened? Slater was there every day and just, you know, doing a fantastic job as our medic.
Yeah.
But he would see what was going on at Keegley, and he's like, dude, I you know, he just ended up finding out he was going to be a dad.
Awesome.
And I know he really wanted to do something different for his family, right?
Yeah.
So that he could really make some strides.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was just at our mastermind this weekend, and he closed $40,000, you know, and this guy's, it's incredible. It's an incredible thing. So I think about, you know, the $18,000 I made in 2010 is now affecting thousands of people, changing thousands of lives, which will change tens of thousands of lives if you count all their kids. I mean, your kids are going to go to better schools, live in better neighborhoods, and have a completely different situation because of it. I look at Matthew Justice over here. He's early 20 years old, right? How much money did you make last month? 50 grand, right? So, and you've got stories like this over and over again. I mean, like,
What
I'm
does
looking
that
at
number
you.
say right there?
Brent Daniels has a text right now from one of his students who just did a $94,448 deal.
First deal. His first deal. It was like his second call. Yeah.
Yeah, ring that bell.
Oh no! Finally broke.
Actually,
It's too big of a deal.
too big of a deal.
Too big of a deal.
Here's what I think we need to do.
Yeah.
We need to mail this to this student
Yeah.
and say,
Yeah, he
"Hey,
gets
you
it.
broke the bell.
broke it.
You broke the
Yeah.
bell." But how incredible is this, right? How incredible is it that we've been able to really see the impact, to really be able to see lives getting changed, people really looking at the power of this really, really unknown niche and this incredible capacity, this incredible way to make your life completely different. And I'm just amazed. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for our friendship. I'm grateful for all these beautiful people that are here. And every one of you tuning in right now, none of this happens without you guys. So just thank you so much for embracing us and caring and continuing to push forward, continuing to do the work and show up week after week. It means the world to us.
Well, and it truly is the foundation of everything we want as a real estate entrepreneur. Starts with finding discounted properties. That's it. Doesn't matter if you're getting them from an agent or you're getting them directly from the property owner. That is the foundation. And then you can build out systems and replace yourself in that system, and then be able to go and use your excess proceeds to actually buy assets. You know, I see a lot of people get derailed real fast by buying rental property way too soon in this process.
Correct.
They have full-time jobs. They're trying to wholesale and they're trying to rental property. It's all over the place. It's a huge distraction. Why not just go find some really great deals, replace your income, go into this business full time, and then buy rental properties?
I think the reason why people do that is because people's minds think, wait, I want wealth.
Yes.
And if I look at what wealthy people have, they have passive cash flow from rental properties that they own.
Yep.
Right. And I don't disagree with that. I think that you're right. That is wealth. True wealth is going to come from having passive cash flow and having hundreds of rentals that pay you hundreds of dollars every single month. But how do you get there? How do you get there? Because your 9-to-5 isn't going to get you there. It's not. You're never going to make enough money to buy more than one rental a year. If you're saving every dime, you'll never make enough money to buy more than one rental a year. And if one rental gives you an extra $500 or $1,000 a month, right? How many years does it take you to replace your income?
Do you know what the average cash flow in a rental property, single family rental property is?
Honestly, I think it's
in
under
Phoenix,
$500.
$300.
Yeah.
It's close to 500 in the lower priced neighborhoods.
Yep.
But do you know what the average upkeep on a property is a year?
Probably around 500.
$5,000 a year. You're not getting cash flow, guys. You're not getting cash flow unless you're buying. And then if you are getting cash flow, you're not getting appreciation, right? So why not build a system and buy these properties so that you don't have so much debt on these properties. So it actually gives you cash flow to change your life.
Right. Right. Again, wholesaling is one of the most incredible techniques that we can use. And it's not just beginner investors that do it.
Yeah.
Right. We've talked about this before, but I've been involved in a deal where D.R. Horton, a publicly traded national home builder, wholesaled a property that they bought from me.
Mm-hmm.
They wholesaled it.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I get a bonehead telling me, "Oh, you're a wholesaler," I think, what do you have against wholesaling? Like, what is? Well, yeah, it just means you don't have any money. I'm like, okay, well, want me to show you my bank account? Because I bet you I got more money than you, motherfucker.
Yeah. And great rental. I mean, you
And,
have
of
properties.
course.
I mean, there's just a better order to do it. I think the order is build an actual business and let that business buy your assets.
Agreed.
That's what it is.
Agreed.
But people want to buy assets before they have a business. And then it turns into the 85% of the deals that we all buy are from tired landlords. Okay. That's a fact. Across the board, these are people that had stars in their eyes and electricity in their bones, and they were going to buy these rental properties, or they were going to house hack, and they were going to do all these things, and now they're selling it to us for 50 cents on the dollar.
Wow.
Because they can't afford that $5,000 upkeep that you need per door that you own. I'm just telling you, I know a lot of people that have had significant financial problems by buying a bunch of rental properties.
I understand.
And developing properties.
Yep.
I mean,
look at what we've been through.
Yeah.
Like, look at what we've been through in development as well, right?
Yeah.
So, anyhow, this is a blessing. We're all lucky to be here. We're all lucky to have this knowledge and to continue doing this.
I just think it blends beautifully into the message that Bigger Pockets has about going and buying and building a really nice portfolio. Well, but you see the people that do it and do it quickly and do it in a really smart way are the people that find the deals first, build up a bank account, and then go buy the best properties in the best school districts. That's what really happens. Right. And then they sell those and buy apartments. Sell those, buy commercial. That's been since the United States government was formed to let us have property. I mean, that's been the code. You know what I mean?
It has. But I mean, it's incredible to see where Bigger Pockets went. Right in 1 year, they release a creative finance book. They would have never done that. Mm-hmm. They would have never done that. Mm-hmm. But they released a creative finance book and then a month later a wholesaling book. Mm-hmm. Like, what world are we in?
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So shout out Bigger Pockets. We're proud of you guys for evolving. It's phenomenal.
Well,
I'm proud to be a part of it. Honestly.
I have an extended edition of Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's right here. And in it, he's talking about how he put a multifamily property under contract here in Phoenix, Robert Kiyosaki, like, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s, maybe. And he just had an investor that didn't want to give him the full amount. He couldn't raise the full amount of the funds. So the investor just said, hey, can I just pay you $50,000 and I'll just take your rights to purchase this property? Do you know what that is?
Wholesaling.
That's wholesaling.
Yes, sir.
That's wholesaling. It's been going on forever. And I think that number is really interesting. If that number is accurate, that there's 70 to 100,000 wholesalers. There's over 2 million real estate agents. Okay. There, statistically speaking, 6 to 10% of the real estate market is in distress at all times. And when we have 140 million properties, so we have anywhere from 10 to 14 million opportunities for 70,000 of us, of which maybe 7,000 are really trained and out there doing it full time.
Isn't that the blue ocean?
It's blue ocean.
Right.
It's absolute blue ocean. It's incredible. It's the best business ever.
It is.
We're going to open this thing up to question and answers. We just wanted to stand up here and celebrate Jamil. Let's give him a round of applause again.
Thank you, guys. And hey, while you're at it, they typically have like hey, people who bought this book also like this book as well. So if you I'm sure you already own Pace's book, but if you don't own Pace's book, when you're buying mine, buy my buddy's book as well. Might as well.
He really wanted to be on here today, guys. He got stuck.
He's in New York. He had a flight delay, and lots of love to you, bro. Safe travels home.
Yeah. So hopefully next week.
Yeah, he'll be here next week for sure.
Awesome. So let's open this thing up to questions. Do you see any in here that are looking good? Do we have any audience questions?
I want to give a shout out to Seth Pettit. Seth Pettit has been a friend of Wholesale Hotline for the last 8 months, and he's been tirelessly trying to get his first deal.
Yeah,
and he finally got it done. He finally got his first deal done. So big shout out to Seth Pettit for getting it done and really just being one of those people that he's the kind of guy that, for months things would just fall apart. He'd get really close. It wouldn't end up working. And never once did he say, I'm going to give up. I feel like this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I think that this is outside of my, my skill set or not meant for me. No, he never did that. He showed up and he said, hey, I know mine's coming around the corner. And instead of sulking and feeling bad for himself, he just poured into other people.
Love it.
He just helped other folks and made himself available. And every time somebody new would come into the Astro community, he'd be the first type of guy. He'd be the kind of guy who'd be the first person to go and embrace them and bring them in and let them know that they were in the right place and they needed to connect to depending on where they lived. That's the kind of person he is.
Love it.
And so here he is getting his first deal done. And I think this is just
how
the
he
first.
Got it?
Yeah, he worked with another Astro Flipping community member, and they JV'd on it. And now she's fixing and flipping the house. So
awesome.
It's just this. It's an incredible thing watching people within the community help each other, love each other, and add value to each other's business and lives.
Love it.
So I guess talking about the rentals, right?
Yep.
When would be the right time? Would it be like when you hit a certain cash value, or when your business is at a certain point, or like?
The question is, when do you buy rental properties in your business? You want to go first? You want me to?
Sorry, go ahead.
When to buy rental properties?
Oh, go. Yeah,
when you don't work in your business.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. It's one. I mean, here's the thing: you're going to have to, if you go full time, you're going to have to be going at least a couple years before you can get conventional financing, right? 1099 income or just pass through LLCs like we all typically have set up. You have to show at least 2 years that you're a solid business owner, right? And then you actually have to pay yourself. That's the craziest thing. Craziest thing of all time is we go, oh, I'm going to create this business. I'm going to go out and make 60 grand a month, 50 grand a month, but I'm only going to pay myself 5 grand a month for my personal living expenses. I'm going to stay real lean. I'm going to pour it back into my business. That is so backwards. Take the money home. You want to know why? Because it makes you pay attention to your business. It makes you hungrier. It makes you want to grow that thing as big as possible. But if you're only personally taking home the $5,000, the $7,000, the $10,000 a month, the $2,000 for each partner, and you have a bank account that has 6 figures in it, you're going to waste that money. You're going to give it all back. You're going to give it all back. People go, well, then you'll just pay more in income tax. Yes. That is the rent we pay to live in this country. You're going to have to pay income tax. They're going to get you one way or another. They just will. So, take the money home and stay really interested in what you got going on. Build an unbelievable business and be a magnet for really great talent out there. And then start looking around. A rental portfolio is its own business. And I see a lot of people trying to build several businesses at the same time, and they don't go anywhere. And I have this conversation with people at meetup groups, and I say, how's business? Same conversation I had with you as soon as you came in. Oh, it's great. Yeah? What are you doing? Well, I'm getting ready to get started, to get going on this thing sometime, but I'm looking at this rental property and I'm trying to do this deal over here, and nothing happens. Nothing happens because there's no focus. If you focus on finding unbelievable deals, you're going to find unbelievable deals. And then when you build a whole system for that, you can pull yourself out. Now you've got all day long and you're like, what do I do with myself all day? You go on vacation for 2 weeks, or you go travel to Europe for 90 days. And then you go, oh, well, I've got a lot of potential still inside me, and I still want to go out there and be useful to the world. What am I going to do now? Then you go buy your properties. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, once you own those properties, I don't care if you get a property manager, somebody's going to call you. Somebody's going to call you at times when you want to be chilling. You know what I mean? And if you've been you've been white knuckling all week, building your business, doing everything, and then you got to go and deal with renters or whatever else, you're gonna burn out.
Yep.
And it's the people that last the longest in this business that make all the money. That's why there's things called tired landlords. It's exhausting. When would you buy rental properties?
So I had started buying rental properties when we were picking them up during the Great Recession, if you want to call it that.
Yep.
So we started, and I had a really good run there, right? We bought 42 units of a 84 unit building here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $25,000 a door up to $42,000 a door for them.
Mm-hmm.
I took an exit on the entire pack of 42 at $200,000 a door.
Mm-hmm.
So I did pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Right. They were great rentals. They were paying me $3,000 a month in cash flow. And so, when I looked at it, I was like, well, there's a few $1 million on the table because my sister and I split that, but it was phenomenal. It was great. It was great rents at the time. But here was the thing, right? Like Brent said, it was a lot of work, even though they were Airbnbs. And for the most part, people would be there for a short amount of time. It was still a tremendous amount of work. It was still a tremendous amount of involvement on our end. It was good involvement. We made a ton of money. But when the opportunity came for me to take an exit, I took the exit.
Yeah.
Right. It was on to other things. And so I just started buying rental properties again.
Cash
though. And now I'm buying luxury properties in cash. The goal is
what affords you that cash though?
Wholesaling.
Building a business.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I was saying it today. I was doing a challenge today, and somebody was like, "How much does this bag of milk even make wholesaling?" And
they called you a bag of milk.
Yeah. One.
Is that a Canadian thing?
I don't know. One dude. I'm inserting the bag of milk part. This one guy said, "Hey, Jamil, great job on the fitness. You look like you've lost a lot of weight." And then another guy underneath that said, "What are you talking about? That guy looks like he's built like a bag of milk." And I was like, fuck, that was one of the best ones I've ever heard. But it was great. That's a great diss. So kudos to you. But anyways, I forgot my train of thought. I'm so stuck in that bag of milk comment.
Rental properties.
Oh yeah,
building a business.
My so I was talking about the wholesale business, right? Real estate. I was talking about my wholesale business, and last year we did $38 million.
Come on.
In assignment fees.
Come on.
And so then someone was like, yeah, okay. Well, how much of that was profit? 18. Okay, that's over $1 million a month.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, so you can look like a bag of milk too.
Mm-hmm.
Arturo Cortez says, "Hello, mentors. I've been chasing foreclosures.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. Suggestions, por favor." Any?
Yeah. Don't chase them. I mean, listen, the more you chase them, the more that they're going to run away. You know what I mean? You just have to have really good conversations and see if they have done a loan modification, what the situation was that put them in the foreclosure in the first place. I mean, that's really the key. And have they made? Here's the thing: people think that because they get notices for foreclosure, that people want to sell those properties before foreclosure. There's foreclosures every day. Okay, people need to. They have to have made the decision that they're going to sell their property to somebody else. That's fundamental if you're going to go direct to property owner. Now, obviously, people want to sell their properties for the most part if they're listed, but for the properties that aren't listed, the number one fundamental thing that I teach is, have they made the decision they're going to sign a document transferring title from them to somebody else? It is absolutely critical to find that out. And then you get into the deeper reason why they want to sell this property and what their expectations are in this property. But if they haven't made the decision that they're going to sell this property, which a lot of pre-foreclosures haven't, because 90% of them do get a loan modification. Of those, apparently 50% go back into foreclosure. And then that's really when you
have the opportunity.
Yeah, you get the opportunities with them. But mix it up. Don't just go for properties that are in pre-foreclosure. Just find properties just drive around and find properties that need renovation. They need investment. And that's what we do. We find properties that need investment.
To dovetail on that, when you see a property that's listed as pre-foreclosure.
Yep.
It's a two-part question. One, can you approach the trustee? And the second part of that question is, should you get a buyer's agent to deal with that?
Okay, so there's two questions here. When a property is in pre-foreclosure, it hasn't foreclosed yet, and there's a notice that they're going to foreclose, is it best to use a buyer's agent to go talk to that property owner, or can you talk to the trustee? Is that the question?
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to the trustee.
Yeah, not yet.
No.
Not yet. Unless, however, the auction date is coming up pretty soon and you need to postpone it.
Yeah.
Then communicating with the trustee is advisable because you want to postpone that foreclosure. I would absolutely check out Laura Morby's YouTube channel. She's an
Awesome.
incredible resource when it comes to working with pre-foreclosures and how to accomplish that in a way that will help a seller out. She's got a ton of content about it, so check her out. But that's the only time you want to get the trustee involved, at least in my knowledge. Yeah. And then beyond that, no. Why put a buyer's? My advice all the time, working with a buyer's agent, unless it's their listing. Okay, a buyer's agent is going to add friction to your deal. They're not going to understand what you're doing. They're not going to go the extra mile for it, especially if we're talking about a pre-foreclosure deal. This is probably going to be a house that's a lower price point, that's not going to be listing ready. So you're essentially saying to somebody, hey, I want you to go out and work on my behalf. Real estate agents don't necessarily want to do that. And the ones who will agree to do that won't do it anyways. So if you really want to go after the property, my advice is go after the property. Get it done. There's no need for you to insert a real estate agent in there. Who's going to pay the agent? Ultimately, it's not going to come from the seller's proceeds because they're in foreclosure. It's very unlikely it's going to come from the seller. So you're just adding 3% onto your bill. So I don't recommend it.
So one more aspect to that. So you cannot place an offer with the trustee.
No.
No. Pete asked, can you just place an offer directly to the trustee? No, because they don't own it yet. The homeowner is still the person in pre-foreclosure. Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. I like Abdul's question.
Yeah. Is there any company that'll go out and take pictures for my virtual deals? We find a ton of people on Facebook Marketplace and or Craigslist. Do you have any?
Yeah, I've been using TaskRabbit.
Cool.
TaskRabbit is a great because it's like there's no company that has people just. I mean, TaskRabbit would be the one that I know of that has people that go out and run errands for you. Mm-hmm. So Abdul, I think that's the answer. TaskRabbit. Yes, Jacob. Home what?
Home Jab.
Home Jab. And what's the turnaround time? Can you place the order today and have them back today or by in the morning even? Amazing. Thank you for that. They can even do where they set up the camera and kind of do the 3D walkthrough. They can do that for you. Again, it's going to be more expensive, but if you really want to have good photos for a deal, you can do it with them. Home Jab, is it homejab.com? Do you know? Homejab.com, Abdul. Thankful to our live. Can we put the camera on our live studio audience so people can see how many folks showed up today? This is so cool. Look at this, guys. We got a house full of homies out here. Nope, not so much. All right. We made it up. It's just a laugh track.
Yeah, nobody's here.
Nobody's here.
Yeah, on their website it says get pictures, photos, or 3D renderings within 24 hours.
Cool. What's the cost of property, Jam?
Starts at $165.
$165. Cool. Awesome. So there you go, Abdul. We just usually post to Facebook Marketplace and just see if people want to do it for like $50.
Oh, Facebook Marketplace. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you get a lot of responses from folks on that?
Yeah, it goes
bananas.
Yeah, you'll get pictures within the hour.
All right, I think that's an even better resource.
If you're going to do
Facebook
business,
Marketplace.
yeah. If you're going to do business in an area, it's always good to, have a couple different people go out and take pictures, and then pick the ones that are the best, and then stay in contact with whoever took those pictures. Yeah.
Love it.
And we give them a sheet.
Yep.
Stand here. Don't just stand.
Yeah.
Don't just take pictures real close.
Yeah.
Put the camera here.
Yeah.
Take the pictures. Take an angle of the picture, not straight on.
It's great.
Get into the corner of the property, take a shot so there you can see the yard, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they do a video.
Beautiful. Tim Turner asked, what would you do if you told an agent not to put you on a drip list and they put you on a drip list anyways? Well, this is one of the 12 agent traps that I talk about. If you guys haven't seen the 12 agent traps, send me a DM and I'm happy to send them to you. The 12 agent traps are interesting ways that agents take what you say and not listen to you, right? So one of the 12 agent traps is getting put on a drip list. And this is when you call an agent and you say, hey, I'm looking for something that hasn't been listed yet, that's in original condition or needing work. And can you send me anything that you've got? And then they're like, sure. And then they just put you on an MLS drip. So for those of you who don't understand what Tim's asking about, that's what that is. I use it as an opportunity to call the agent back.
Yep.
And I actually don't remove the drip. I don't unsubscribe from the drip because it still notifies me of any investor properties that potentially coming to the market or that are just listed. But I will call the agent and let them know that I'm disqualifying them from participating in any of those houses if I contract them myself.
Yeah.
I just say, hey, I think there was a misunderstanding. I asked if you had anything coming on the market that wasn't listed yet, that's in original condition or needing work, and it seems that you've sent me up on a drip campaign of listed properties. Just so you know, I do this full time. I spend my entire life looking at houses, and I'm on the MLS every day. So I've already got people scraping the MLS from me. I'm already looking myself. So this doesn't necessarily help me. But I'm wondering, do you have anything off market that I can see?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, sorry, my mistake. I'll keep an eye out for you. And that's when I say, okay, cool. I'll keep following up. But now I've just got a free lead source, right? But I make sure I call that agent and disqualify them from thinking that I'm going to write any offers through them because they didn't get the assignment right. If you don't get the assignment right, you don't get any grades. You don't get good grades for getting the answer wrong. It's not how it works.
What if an agent's like, I want you to work exclusively with me? I'm a very powerful agent. I don't want to be wasting my time. I must have exclusivity with you, Jamil. So you must not work with any other agents.
Right. And I say, you know what? I would really love to do that. You sound like a really nice person and somebody who would do a great job. Unfortunately, I work at such high volumes that there's no way that you'd be able to satisfy all of the houses that our company needs to purchase. And so unfortunately for that reason and all the other, dozens of folks that are sending us opportunities, I can't do that. But I am understanding of what your concern is. And I'm happy to sign a buyer broker agreement with you that's exclusive to a property.
Yep.
So if you have an address that you want to protect yourself on, no problem. Send me a buyer broker that's specific to that address. I'm happy to sign it. I would never go around you anyways, but I just can't do a blanket buyer broker with you.
Good.
We just was talking about Seth plus deal.
Yeah.
And he did it with another Astro student. The incredible Astro student is right here.
All right.
Whoop, whoop.
How'd you find the deal?
Seth actually had done agent outreach, and the agent brought it to him.
Seth did agent outreach, and the agent brought it to him, and you helped it get through.
She
the
bought
finish
it.
line? Oh, you bought it. That's right. Awesome. What are you going to do with it?
It's a luxury flip, so it's my very first luxury
A luxury flip. Awesome.
Yes. And that's one of the coolest things about being in a community, right? Is that you've got private money lenders, you've got buyers, you've got rehabbers, you've got people in the community who you can work with. And whether you're in subto, Astro Flipping, or TTP, they're all connecting with each other.
Yeah.
I've got folks that started with me in Astro that are in the Rhino Tribe right now, dispoing deals for people that are in your community. I got sub-2 community members constantly working with Astro Flipping community members, and sub-2 members working with the Rhino Tribe. And guys, this is why do you think Brent, Pace, and I do this? Why do you think that we've let our communities have an open door between them all? Because we want you guys to work together.
Yeah.
We want you guys, to go out there and find good opportunities and bless each other's lives. This is the purpose of this.
That's it. Yeah. And it's a wonderful synergy. You know what I mean? And I think it's because I think all the communities understand that there's no competition out there. You know what I mean? It's all collaboration. There's more deals than there are us, for sure. I mean, just statistically speaking. So go out there with confidence. And if you don't know something, it's like a Facebook group question away. You know what I mean? Or a DM away, or you can get a hold of everybody through Instagram or through the Facebook groups and start that conversation. Well, people don't respond to me if I DM them. Keep DMing. You'll find somebody.
But when somebody says that, when somebody says to me, hey, every time I DM somebody, they never respond or people don't respond, I think you're talking about one person.
Yeah.
Right? When anytime somebody says to me every time or everyone or everybody, I know you've done it one time, maybe 2 times.
Yeah.
And that's the result you got. And you just created a story in your head that it's every time.
Yeah.
Guys, that's not how life or business works. It's not. If I flip a coin, I'm going to statistically get a different result, right? If you're going to call people, if you're going to DM people, if you're going to reach out to people, statistically speaking, you're never going to get the same result over and over again. It's statistically impossible. It's impossible.
I really think it's a smart idea, just as a side note, for everybody to go into whatever RIA groups you're a part of, any kind of, real estate investing groups on in Facebook, and DM the person that created it. They're very helpful for the most part, because this is their community. And if you reach out to them directly and ask for some help, or maybe you have a deal that you need help selling or whatever else, they're usually very, very, very well connected. And then you realize by the response of the person that created that group, if they're assholes, then you don't go into that group.
Right.
It's like the perfect filter for this. And if they're welcoming and they're like, yeah, let's do some deals, and that's the whole reason they put this together, is to put more money into their pocket. Yes, that's who you want to hang out with. Those are the people that aren't just doing this by theory based and they want to be, leaders in a community and not do anything. They want to go out and make some money. They want to go do some deals.
Right.
Those are great people. So just DM the people that are running those groups. Everybody should. And it's a great avenue for building your buyer base as well.
I love Liami's question over here.
Yep.
Liami asked, when I'm about to put a property under contract with a realtor, should I put my name or the LLC as the buyer? If I wholesale with an LLC and I transfer rights to the end buyer before closing, can I get the LLC back?
Well, first of all, that's a lot of work.
Yes.
That's a lot of work that you don't need to do. I'll just tell you what I do, because I'm not an attorney and I don't want to get into LLCs and all this other stuff. I put my LLC on there and then I sign my rights from my LLC to whoever's buying it.
Yep. I am not a fan of wholesaling via selling your LLC.
No.
I personally don't understand why you would ever want to do that. I don't
Short
understand.
sales.
Yeah,
that was the only time.
Yeah,
and
the only
they
time.
figured that out.
Yeah, and that was fraud.
Yeah.
And that was fraud,
Yeah.
right? So it's not. There's no reason for you to want to ever sell your LLC, instead of selling your rights to a contract. And some people say, well, what about when you're trying to get around wholesale legislation? Don't get around wholesale legislation. Okay, that's how it's going to look. Every time you do something that's a workaround, guess what happens? Okay, they stop it. and you can still get in trouble. Close on the house.
Don't we have transactional
You can
funding?
get transactional funding. Yes, close on the house.
How do you get it?
Flipcashtoday.com. I'll
Boom.
close you. I will listen, guys. I raised $20 million. It's sitting in an account right now, ready and willing. I'm ready, willing, and able to fund your houses, your purchases. Flipcashtoday.com. Please don't sell your LLCs. It's going to cost you way more money to do it that way, anyways. And what happens at tax time?
Do you give 100% of the purchase price?
Yes.
So everybody in here is a cash buyer?
Every single person in here is
Everybody
a cash buyer.
watching this?
Yes.
Everybody listening to this on
Yes.
the most incredible Wholesale Hotline
every,
podcast?
Every person is a cash buyer except for Pace Morby, because I know he won't pay cash for anything. He will only buy a deal if it's creative. But every other person is a cash buyer.
There you go. So that's it. I think that gets you around the whole I need to put it into an LLC to avoid assignments.
Correct.
You can just close on it.
Correct.
You can close on it, and or you could talk to your closing attorney or title company and do a double escrow where the funds, now there is a disclosure that goes to the seller. I've never had a problem with it, but there is, and it's just a title company policy that the buyer's funds pass through the transaction with you as the seller of this property and go to the owner of the property, and you get the middle. So it's a great way. Double escrow, really powerful. Some really great title companies do it. So
love it.
Or transactional funding if they don't.
Transactional funding, it's a great resource.
Marcellus Wallace, how would you recommend one gain MLS access without a license? I understand many of you are pimping Privy, but I'm not fully sold on it. I'm based out of SoCal and want a juicy assignment fee. Me too.
Yeah. Marcellus, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? What would you tell him to do?
Squat up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just find somebody that wants to be a real estate investor that also has a license. It should be all of them. Surprising that it's not.
The only part about it is that could be a little bit difficult is if the goal is to find an agent that you can work with that has MLS access, that'll be an investor friendly person that you could potentially do deals with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just finding that person is going to be a process. It's not impossible. It's very possible, but it's going to be a process.
Okay.
And so, it's going to take you time, and that might even take you weeks to do. Right. So you got to ask yourself the question, Marcellus, what is your time worth? That's the question I ask myself all the time. Right. Whenever I get to these situations where I'm like, should I spend the money or shouldn't I spend the money? Then I look at what is the time saving? Does it make more sense for me to do this myself and just pay, or should I do this myself and save money, or should I write the check and have somebody else do it for me so it gets done quicker? And so, you've got to ask yourself, Marcellus, is your time worth less than the $97 a month that it costs you for your subscription to Privy? And if your time is worth less than that, then go ahead and do it the hard way.
Privy's not everywhere.
Well,
they're still adding.
So maybe
in
markets.
SoCal, he doesn't have the MLS access,
right,
which some don't.
I'm pretty sure it does have it in SoCal.
Why would you need it? Why do you think Marcellus wants?
I think he wants to be able to see what good opportunities are coming to the market.
Why not Zillow?
He could.
Why not Redfin?
The thing about Privy that I like is that the algorithm saves you time.
No,
right?
I get.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, what do you need MLS access for?
I mean,
if you have these other
I didn't
tools?
have Privy when I was doing agent outreach and MLS offers when Privy didn't exist. I was using Zillow. It was taking me way longer, but I was using it.
Yeah,
and it was very, very successful at it.
Why was it longer?
Because I have to look at every house.
You mean the comping?
Well, I got to look at everything that got listed today, and then I got to determine what's a potential deal by eyeballing it. Then I have to comp them all and really determine. What Privy does is it pre-comps for you, right? So it gives you a short list. Hey, out of these 200 houses that got listed today, you should check out these 10 instead of looking at all 200 and then determining that those 10 could be deals. So that's the time savings there, bro.
Juicy assignment. I think every deal in SoCal is a juicy assignment fee. So
here's
don't worry
one for
about
you,
that.
brother.
Nathan, Mr. TTP, what does your follow-up system look like for those who don't answer and they go to a voicemail? So, Chad, my acquisition manager, does this live 2 hours a day, calls our leads. He does the lead follow-up for our community, and people watch them and do lead calls themselves. But he'll triple tap anybody that doesn't answer. Call, no answer. Call, no answer. Call, no answer. Boom, boom, boom. And it is shocking how many people pick up on the third time.
Yeah. Or even the second.
Yeah,
Right.
It is shocking. And then from there, we leave a voicemail and then we'll text. That's it. I mean, you don't have to overthink it, but yeah, we'll call them 3 times back to back to back. And usually they answer. And if they don't, then they weren't going to anyway. How much do you spend monthly on marketing for just your wholesale company? I was spending about 25 grand. And that was for my callers, my texters and my texting platform and skip tracing and all that stuff. And that was awesome. But this year I've added 20 grand in TV ads for more brand building and interesting exposure that I've gotten from it. And I'm now at 25 grand in pay-per-click. And so we've reduced, I think we've only got, we're about there. So what is that? 70,000. We're going to probably be at 70,000 towards the end of this
month.
Yeah, I think in July,
Yep.
We'll get to 70,000. Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
$70,000 to spend on marketing.
It's crazy.
Guess how much I spent?
0. You also have health insurance for 7,000 people. So if we want to talk about bloated.
Wow.
Just kidding.
This is a great one right over here.
No, listen, you're either going to put it in marketing or
Yeah.
you're going to put it in people. I mean,
Yep.
that just is what it is. But we both have 50% businesses.
Yep.
I mean, that's the breakdown of it. And so I know that I can do, I know what my capacity is with 4 people. If I brought on more people to really grow that, there'd have to be significant more leads to justify that. So I pay my people really well and pay myself really well.
Is there a point there? The question gets asked often, right? Because you've got some pretty talented people on your team. Is there a point where the spend that you increase, like, say you're going to spend $70K and that's going to return you what, 200?
Well, you don't want to spend anything that doesn't give you a 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
Yeah.
So 70 should give you.
Yeah, but it's all 90 days. So I'm not looking at the 70 as like it will hit this year, but it's more like I want to get to a $5 million business in the next 3 years. You know what I mean?
So it's a long game.
So it's a much longer game. I want to make sure that I understand pay-per-click. You know, we got Jesse, who used to work before you in a totally different capacity, but then he went and worked for Google for years. And I grabbed him from Google, and it's been phenomenal for our pay-per-click. And so just learning that game. I mean, it's my acquisition managers have been like through like a lot of rough leads, right?
Yeah.
Through texting and through calling and through all of these, and they're just longer term. When somebody calls you and they're like, I have this terrible house, will you come buy it? It's like the greatest day ever in this business. It really is. And so I want to transition. I still always want to be proactive, but I'm now at the point where I'm willing to invest into some of these other marketing because 1, I think pay-per-click is going to be powerful for a long time. And 2, I think building a brand locally is important to me. So we're doing the TV ads, and the TV is not wildly, it's not a great return at this point. We spent 30 and we've made 100.
That's great.
But it's not 1 to 4, and you got to be real careful. 1 to 4 should be the minimum because, but
you're also you're building a big brand. And I think, even though you're 1 to 3, right, I would say the 25% that you're not getting from like PPC or whatever, it's like you're on television, you know what I mean? Which is another whole world of exposure and brand building. So I think that, even though you're not getting 4 to 1, you're getting incredible exposure, brand recognition. And, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you start out, if you don't have the money to be able to invest into people calling you, you have to call them,
Right.
right?
Right.
The way that we both started.
Yep.
And you have a company that is actively proactive all the time. You know what I mean? You guys are calling up everybody and building those relationships, not only with the cash buyers, but with all the other investors and wholesalers and real estate agents in town.
Right.
So it's two different strategies to get to the same point. Yours is much better. I was giving him shit about the size of his team and the things that come along with that, but you guys have like an unbelievable loyalty in your company.
Yeah,
people love working with you guys, working for you guys.
We don't have a lot of turnover.
Well, you guys, health insurance,
Yeah.
dental insurance, job security, job growth, like all those things. It's, but you have partners, and I didn't want partners.
Right. Right. No, it's funny in the mastermind that I did this weekend, we talked a lot about what do you want? Do you want something that looks like this operation that I have on the other side of these doors?
Yeah.
Are you trying to build a company with over 100 people in it? Does this make sense to you?
Right.
Or does it make more sense to you to have a small team, to keep it really lean, to keep it super flexible, right? Because again, you look at a guy like Slater over here, he can make $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in a month, and he's got a couple of people on his team.
Yeah.
His overhead is low.
It's great.
He offices
I
at
asked
my
him, it was
office.
less than like $2,000.
Yeah, it's incredible, right? So like his overhead is and so he can be way more profitable than me looking at that. I mean, look at your overhead versus income. I'm nowhere near those ratios, right? So there's something to be said about having a really small, really lean team that's just continuing to excel. But my question for you was, at scale, do things break? Because like, what happens if you can't send your top guy out? What if it's now your B team? What if it's your bench team? Because you spend so much money now. You got the guy who should be on the bench going out there trying to close a deal. And all of a sudden that scale doesn't work anymore, right? Because you're not your top talent is busy.
Yep.
So that's something to think about as well. I like MJJ Smooth Criminal said, "Hey, Brent and Jamil, in 2023, Zillow is still a good source for FSBOs."
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like FSBOs.
Right.
I think that's probably the most unmotivated lead that you can find. Right?
You mean the owner that just makes up whatever value?
It's just like, hey, I'm going to put my house on for $1 gajillion. Let's see if somebody...
It's like, like somebody in our neighborhoods that isn't renovated puts it on
for ARV or more, you know? So I don't know necessarily if because look at the mentality of somebody who lists for sale by owner, right? They're thinking, hey, I want to list my house. I can do better than a real estate agent. I don't want anybody else to make money on this. And also I want to determine what the price is, and I don't want the market to tell me what it really is. So, do I think that you're spinning your tires? Yes. Personally, I wouldn't waste a lot of time calling FSBOs on Zillow, but I have done a couple of deals from FSBOs on Zillow. In my over 6,000 plus wholesale deals that I've done, I think I've done 3 from Zillow.
Well,
FSBOs.
and go after the ugly ones. You go after the ones that need investment. You're not going to go after the one that, they just put in new quartz countertops and, just made a new Scandinavian design inside of it with beautiful woodwork. No, you go for the property that somebody has smoked cigarettes in there for 17,000 years. You know what I mean? You go for the one that has, 15 cats, the ones that, they don't come up that often in FSBOs, but listen, talk to people. I mean, you never know. They might have another property that they want to sell that you didn't even know about or that they just inherited. So I think, the more that you talk to property owners, I know the more that you talk to them, the more opportunities you're going to find. But the more that you talk to people that have personal problems with their properties, the more discounts you'll find. That's the nature of this business. Dante, Brent, you said it will take 20 hours to get a deal, but will take 3 months. Can you elaborate on that? Yes. 20 hours of having conversations will build up a pipeline of opportunities that will be fruitful in 90 days. Because when you talk to somebody for the first time, typically they're not like, come over and take this house from me. I'll sell it for whatever. They're like, you know what? I got to wait for my tenant to get out of that property. I'm waiting for the probate to be finished. I want to make sure that I get all my personal property out of this property. I got to find a place to live. I mean, there's different, hurdles to get to the finish line when you're reaching out and just calling somebody. But 20 hours of having conversations to filter down and have to talk to enough people that are going to actually do business with you. That's the average. Yeah.
Bro, this Swayam. I gotta shout this man out. Astro student here, Swayam, says he's closing his third deal. He just joined Astro, by the way, this Wednesday. He's making over $4,200, and here's why this is so awesome. You want to know where Swayam lives?
Where?
In India.
Come on.
In India.
Love it.
And he's 17 years old.
I love it.
And so he's sitting there. He's virtual. He's crushing it. He doesn't let being from a different culture stop him. He doesn't let he's fluent in English, but of course he has an accent.
Yeah.
Right. Doesn't let that bug him. He's confident. He learned what he needed to learn, and he smashes on the phones. Mm-hmm. Getting his third deal done. The guy's been with us for like a month, and he's making $4,200. You got no excuse.
None.
Swayam, congratulations, man! Everybody in here, give him a shout.
Action plus results equals education.
Yes, sir.
It's not the education plus action equals results. It is our education. That's nothing's a better education than getting paid $4,200 for making a phone call from halfway across the world in probably a city he's never stepped foot in.
No, never. No. How many rupees is that?
Can somebody do the calculation?
Somebody just find out how many rupees is $4,200 US dollars. I'm just curious.
There you go. And pull up what the average 17-year-old makes in rupees in India.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I love Joel. Joel said, hey, Jamil and Brent, what are ways you guys build powerful relationships with other investors, real estate professionals, or leaders? And what is the most powerful way of networking that actually helps? What do you think?
Say yes to your friends. Just connect if they need some help, if they need some reviews, if they need to sell a deal, if they need, whatever, say yes to them. Build it up. Have that communication. Give them priority on deals. I've sold deals to Jamil that I could have made more money on, but the relationship was more important. You know what I mean? So it's, yeah. Oh, that's a lot of rupees.
Wow. That's so cool, dude.
Yeah. That's right.
No, it's 3,000,000
No, it's no. He just put the.
Oh, you got the wrong comma. Okay, 345,000 rupees. That's so crazy. What can you buy with 345,000 rupees? Anyone know?
A girlfriend. Swayam, congratulations, brother. Keep it up.
Oh, it's so great. Let's keep your questions coming in the chat. We're wanting to answer everything you got. Scrolling through here. If there's anybody in the audience that wants to ask one while I'm looking.
So your mastermind group here was saying that a lot of your mastermind, a lot of the real takeaways of the mastermind are the mindset, the mindset stuff. The mindset of being an entrepreneur, the mindset of building something special, the mindset of, pushing forward when you're having the tougher days and when the business it feels like it's going up and then it's down and it's highs and lows and the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. So give us a little taste of that. Give us a little taste of what you do to help build the mindset and what we can use to build our mindset for this business. Because listen, being an entrepreneur is rare. It just is. Most people don't have our brains. They don't think this way. They just want to do this life and work the job that they're doing, or the role that they think that they're playing. They just don't have interest. They're not reading business books. They're not going to masterminds. They're not going and watching this or listening to this podcast. They're out there living their life. I mean, the 330 some odd million people, and there's only 70,000 wholesalers, of which, maybe a fraction of that are full time. It's just rare to want to build this business. It's rare to be an entrepreneur. How do we strengthen our mindset?
So there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
But I think one of the key principles is really looking at identifying and taking inventory of what habits, what behaviors, what thoughts, actions, and feelings have led you to today. And when you take inventory of today, we want to look at it from a perspective of where's your relationships? Where's your financial life?
Yeah.
Where's your personal life? Where do you feel just in terms of purpose and fulfillment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really be honest with where we are, right? Because look, where you are right now is perfect. It's exactly where you're supposed to be. But if you want it to change, if you want your relationship with your spouse to change, guess what's not going to work? What you did yesterday.
Doing the same things.
If you want your finances to change, guess what's not going to work? What you did yesterday. If you want things to change, you have to change. That's the bottom line, right? And change is the difficult part. That's the part that makes us uncomfortable. That's the part that makes us feel like we are second guessing ourselves. That's when the brain starts to play tricks on you. Because remember that if you think about addicts, right? People who are addicted to drugs, what are they addicted to? They're addicted to the chemical feeling, right? The chemical comes in.
Change of state.
Yeah, the change of state. So they get addicted to that, and then their body craves it, right? Well, do you not think that feeling miserable releases chemicals in your body? It absolutely does. And regardless of what the chemical is, do you not believe that your body could get addicted to the chemicals that create that miserable feeling in your body? It does. And so, like an addict, if you've ever met an addict before, they can lie their butts off. And they lie to themselves. It's so many reasons why they got to do this and do that and go here and do there, all the things, right? And it's typically their brain that's feeding them with all of these excuses, all of these reasons, all these justifications, all these lies. And so your brain will do the same thing to you. When you start saying to yourself, hey, I want to spend more time on my side hustle. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to really do something that's going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to make a change in my life. Immediately, your brain is going to come up with the reasons why it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And it's going to trick you into doing what was familiar, what got you to the place where you didn't have enough money, where you didn't have good relationships with people. So part of the mindset that we have to come to terms with is what got us here and what don't we want to keep? So one of the exercises that we did on the mastermind was determining what your version 1 is, right? What's Brent Daniels 1.0? What's Jamil Damji 1.0, right? And when you take a look at 1.0, 1.0 is not going to be all bad. 1.0 is going to have a lot of good things in it, right? So there's parts of my version 1 that I want to keep, right? I want to keep these aspects of myself, but these are the behaviors and patterns that aren't serving me anymore. So part of what we did was really take inventory of what those patterns are and leave them behind. And we did that through a series of meditative practices and really understanding the theory behind how we can make these adjustments to our subconscious mind so that we can truly make a change in our life. And I want to just ask for the people that are here, how do you guys feel? Do you feel like the mindset work made an adjustment to you? Do you feel like a different human being after leaving it? And I think we all have that capacity. I mean, you can change your entire life by changing one thought. That's it. You can, right? And so, that's why I think it's so important that we shift from the inside out and not the outside in. Because if I say to somebody, hey, you want to be successful, do this, this, and this, but they're still the same person on the inside. They still have the same habits, the same behaviors, the same thought process, the same feelings. It doesn't matter how many times they do those actions.
Yeah.
If it's coming from a broken person, the result's not going to be there. But if we can shift who you are from the inside so that what you're doing on the outside actually has that energy associated with it, wait till you see what happens. Wait till you see what can transpire in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're one of the most positive people that I know, which is makes a lot of sense that you live the life you live.
Yeah.
Because that's how you are. And I think the people that are a part of your community, they resonate to that. So you attract that type of person because they're like, I love Brent. I love his energy. I love his enthusiasm. I love his positivity. I love his can-do-ness, right? And if somebody was watching you and they didn't like those aspects of you, they would not go to you, right? They'd pick somebody else. They'd go somewhere else, or they would just give up.
Yeah.
And so I think that you inherently have these aspects about you. And then if you can help people really dial those in and amplify them, then you can really affect some incredible change.
Yeah.
And you do that in your crew, and I do that with this crew, and Pace does that with his crew. And it was something that Robert Allen said to Pace, actually, when we traveled out to Key West, and Pace and Robert got to meet. Pace was sharing the story with me. And Robert had said to Pace, you know, if I could go back and change things, what I would have done is I would have spent less time on the techniques. I would have spent less time telling people what to do and, you know, how to have these phone calls and how to have these conversations and then meat and potatoes and nitty gritty of the technique. And I would have spent 100% more time on affecting people's minds. He says I would have had so much more impact. And he had a lot of impact, but he thinks he would have had so much more impact if he could have adjusted how people thought.
Yeah.
And I think that's real.
And that eliminates self-doubt?
It can.
Yeah.
But again, dude, this is the other part, right? Is listen, I'm at the apex of the industry in my life, right? I have self-doubt.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I get asked this all the time. What do I do when I feel like an imposter? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like an imposter sometimes too. We're human beings.
Yeah.
You're not going to wake up every day feeling like the top of the world. Some days you're going to wake up in a bad way. You're just going to be moody. Something's going to go wrong. And you're going to have to work yourself out of that. Don't ever think that there's some magic pill, some magic thing that you can do that's going to change who you are in an instant. This is daily work. It's daily work.
I was watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix, and his dad's biggest thing was be useful.
Yeah.
Right? To really build that confidence in yourself and to really serve, really be useful. I thought that was really powerful. You know what I mean? And who are we useful to? We're useful to people that have personal problems with their properties.
Right.
And the more that we're able to do that, the more that we can really just be able to create a real business and to get the experience that we need to. And I think that if you're being useful, it's hard to have self-doubt when you feel useful. Right. You know what I mean? So I think that just fundamentally, that's really, really, really powerful. And I think that people get a lot more fulfillment from that because, you know, you can succeed and there's literally, you know, a blueprint on what to do to succeed. You talk to enough people that own ugly properties or the people that represent them, you will win. You'll be a millionaire. You'll be a multimillionaire. You'll do whatever you want financially if you build a business around that. But are you fulfilled? Right?
Yep.
There is success and then there's fulfillment. And fulfillment comes with contribution. You know what I mean?
Serving other people.
That's it.
Yep.
That is what it is. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people hit that roadblock where they're like, I just need to do a deal so that I can change my life. And I hear other people and see other people. And I'm, comparison's the thief of joy, but it's also the seed of greatness and all this other things. And then you go and you're so worried about the end result that you don't let the cause lead to the effect, which is who can I go out there and serve today?
Right. Amy Van Slambrook. What a cool
picture.
Name. And what a picture. Yes. She said, how can I partner with Keegley Jamil? I've contacted the local office and I've had no response. Amy, send me a DM. People's information changes sometimes. Sometimes their reps are no longer there. It depends on if you're trying to contact a franchise or a corporate office. I would love to help direct you. Send me a DM, Amy, and I'm happy to open a door and make a connection for you.
Awesome.
Brent, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you implement any daily prayer or meditation into your life?
Every day.
What do you do?
Pray. Yeah, that's my meditation.
Yep.
A lot of it's gratitude.
Yes.
A lot of
Yes.
that. Because I was just, I'm, my family.
Yeah.
My friends. My background. I mean, absolutely incredible. My mom was my dad's secretary at Honeywell here locally, and I was 2 years old, and my biological dad left to party. He loved partying. And so my dad stepped in and adopted me at 2 years old. And my life has been absolutely incredible. And we grew up in the church, in the Catholic Church. And I just, I don't know. It's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And it just makes you feel great. I honestly don't go to church and be like, okay, like, they're kind of dressed like wizards, you know what I mean? Like the Catholic Church, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, there's tradition to it and everything there that I get into, but I just feel good there. You know what I mean? I feel that's the same feeling that I get when I pray and have gratitude. And that's really my meditation.
Yeah.
Is it's just being wildly thankful for what I have. And what different path my life could have gone down, but you never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were saying it. We're here where we should be.
Exactly.
Now, if we want changes, change is difficult. Change is tough. Change means something different. And when you're trying to change something and build something and it's exciting, you're going to deal with the challenges. You're going to deal with the doubts. You're going to deal with, we call it the 3Ds, the doubt, disappointment, and distraction. And so it's your ability to be around great people that help you get through all that. And so, that's my meditation. That's the longest answer to that question. But yeah, I do. It's a lot of gratitude. It's a lot of gratitude. And then if I want to have like a strategy session about business, I'll just take a pad of paper and here I'll write my problem at the top and I'll just go and write as many answers as I can to whatever that issue is. And that's something I learned from Earl Nightingale. And incredible. If you haven't listened to The Strangest Secret,
incredible.
It's an incredible 30 minutes that you can just listen to on YouTube or anywhere. And it's really, really, really powerful. But I went down the rabbit hole of a lot of his training in college and just out of college. And the big thing is you sit down with whatever question, whatever challenge you have, and just start like actually thinking about it.
You mean do something?
Yeah. Well, actually, think of solutions. You let your brain work. Right?
Yes.
It's wild.
Yes.
What happens when you do it?
Yes.
You come up with all sorts of solutions.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You don't
I was
say.
like, I'm broke. And then I wrote down, how do I not be broke? And the answer was, talk to people. And that's
Pretty simple.
That was it. And here we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
All those years later.
I wanted to know everything when I started in real estate. I wanted to know the real estate test back and forward. I thought that's the more that I knew, the more confidence that I would have. And then I saw these guys that were like, and gals that were just complete knuckleheads. They didn't know anything. They could barely fill out a purchase agreement, running laps around me financially because they were just no fear going out there, knocking doors and holding open houses, cold calling people all day long. And I was like, what is happening here? And I'm just like pontificating on how I can go and find income. I had never had a job before. I was just like, I don't know how people make money. And then you realize, you don't have to. And that's why I say the dumbest people make the most money. And I don't mean like lowest IQ. I just mean that you just don't get in your own way.
Yeah. You don't question, overthink everything, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Raymond asked, hey, Jamil, what's the first step to joining your team? And Raymond, I would say the first step to joining my team is squat up with somebody in the chat. Don't worry about joining my team. Make your team. Make your team. There are people in the chat right now who want to work with you, brother. They do. They want to add value to you. They want to help you with a buy price. They want to show you how to comp. They want to do business with you. I've got, over 150 Astro Flippers that are in the chat right now that want to hang out, that want to do deals with you. Reach out with them, connect to them. And connecting to this community is what's going to connect you to me. Straight up.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you guys put out like LinkedIn notifications or something when you guys are hiring for Keegley Corporate?
Yeah, we Indeed, and we've got full-time HR people in the office.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean,
Are you guys looking for anybody?
we're always
You guys
looking for
good?
people. Yeah, we're always looking for people. Keegley's constantly growing. And if that was the question, Raymond, if you're looking for a job, send me a DM if there's a Keegley franchise, or if there's a position in my corporate store that would make sense for you. I'm happy to send you the information on how you can apply to that. But I don't think you're watching Wholesale Hotline so you can get a job.
Right.
I don't. I think you're watching Wholesale Hotline so you can leave your job. So why leave your job to find another?
Do people go into your company with the intention of like really understanding it to be able to own a franchise themselves?
Yeah,
someday,
that happens all the time, right? I mean, Slater sits in an office full of ex Keegley employees who own franchises now.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They learn the ropes through having a job at Keegley, and then said, okay, let's be partners instead of the employee-employer relationship, and we're happy to do that.
Yeah.
It's the path to entrepreneurship with the guardrails on.
I think it's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I would look if somebody's local here and you're really interested in being around and in an incredible company and environment. That's a really great opportunity.
I think so. Was it
really
worth
great.
it? Was it worth it, Slater?
1000%.
Did I pay you to say that?
Dude, he's making 60 grand this month.
I guess I did then, didn't
60 grand.
I? Yeah.
They're closing 6 deals. 60 grand? 62. 65. What was it?
Yeah, 65. We got the big key.
Talk to the sales guy. The sales guy always knows.
Yeah. So he made 65. He paid me 15 of that. Thanks, by the way. Yeah.
That's game of life.
That's so great.
I love
Phenomenal.
it.
Guys,
Absolutely
keep the questions coming in here.
We got a couple more spots
more.
for questions.
Yep. To tell you something that I'm planning on doing. I did a meditation every day of the mastermind, day 1, day 2, day 3. And how many of you guys would be interested in if I made like an album of them?
Be awesome.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to do that.
Awesome.
I think I'm going to make some like a meditation album for people if they're, especially for people in our world,
Love it.
in our industry that really want some visualizations and guided work that could help them, get their minds right.
You
really,
can put it right on Spotify or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just as a way
Comes
to help
complimentary
folks.
when you buy this book. Available today. biggerpockets.com/wholesale. Did I get it?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. Guys, get this book. It is going to be absolutely this is your game plan right here. This is going to show you everything. This is going to get rid of a lot of mystery. Once you get through this book, then you're going to be out there taking a lot more confident action. Don't just stay in the book. Let the book. I love that quote, and I don't know who said it. It's not what you get out of a book, it's what the book gets out of you.
Oh,
right? I
so
love
good.
that. That's when you know you have a good book.
Yep.
That's when you know you've read something that really blows your hair back and makes you like reevaluate and take some serious action.
What's the last good one
that's
you've
this one.
read?
I am reading an incredible book, and it's taken me a long time to chew through it because it is really interesting, called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Right?
That is such an incredible book.
It is.
It's the founding of Stoicism, by the way.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
I think people underestimate how much our thoughts and reactions to things affect everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Inner peace. Woo! That is powerful stuff there.
Yep.
Inner peace. Anything can happen. You're going to be, you're going to be powerful. I don't know. It's a really strong book, really interesting book, and I'm getting a ton out of it. Yeah, it's really good. The Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Well, it's not by him. He's obviously
Passed away.
a skeleton. But
What do you have coming up this week?
I am going to Cody Sperber's to do a podcast on Wednesday with him.
Oh, fun.
Which is going to be really fun. And
Yep.
then I leave for Boston on Sunday to go see my sister, and then Chicago to see the rest of my family and enjoy 4th of July week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
When you see Cody, ask him if he's dropped the price on the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Does he have one?
He does.
What is it? What is he asking for it?
I don't know. Ask him.
I will.
In fact, any of you guys watching right now, send Cody a DM and say, hey, I heard you're selling the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. How much do you want for it?
He bought one?
I don't know.
No. All right.
I love Cody, by the way.
First person to
he's
get a
great.
price out of Cody.
Yeah, first person
Gets a free book. No.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
I'm
Hey, congratulations on your book.
Thank you, man.
I love you.
I love you too.
This is absolutely incredible. It is really, really, really difficult to put all this stuff in your brain into a book and not just do it with the copyright. Like literally every time we go to like a coaching event or something, there's somebody there that's a ghostwriter and they're like, for 60 grand, we'll write your book and we'll make it awesome. And everybody has the same book. This is not the same book. This is straight from Jamil's heart and incredible. So
thank you.
I hope
BiggerPockets.com/wholesale book.
Yeah.
I couldn't have had a better endorsement by my brother over here, guys. We are at time. Wholesale Hotline number 176. Let's have everybody run over here. Come on over here, guys. Come on here. Let's send everybody off with a rocket ship.
There we go.
Come on. Move over. Yep. Bring it in.
People are really in here.
Spread out. Yeah.
Guys, if you are local on Mondays, make sure that you come join us. Just DM me or Jamil, and we'll give you the address. We love you guys.
Wholesale
Awesome.
Hotline 176. Good night.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yep.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.